Hi, and welcome back to Ask Me for a Friend. I'm Bethany Silvis, Marketing Supervisor.
And I'm Lori Lutweiler, Director of People Operations. And today we're joined by Christine. Welcome, Christine.
Hello, thank you.
Do you want to give us a quick intro?
Sure. I am Christine Fritz, L&D Manager for the admin team.
Welcome. So can you tell us what is the L&D Manager?
Learning and development, anything learning and development, let's say that. So when I came aboard, it's been over a year and a half now. I started. This is a brand new role here at KB. And so I am morphing into lots of things as I'm here, but more than anything, my biggest projects have been around helping with onboarding and any little trainings that some teams have needed, and it just continues to morph. And the LMS, the learning management system. So I'll tell you more about that as we get going, but I'll stop there.
Sure. So I know that you've had a busy year, and I can't believe that February will be 2 years. What are some of the things that you've accomplished so far, and what's coming in the future?
Okay. Well, so far, I have to start from the beginning just a little bit, though, because when I started, I'm not from the accounting background, so I needed to learn a little bit more about the industry. And then when I came aboard, I wanted to know a little bit more about the KB culture. So that started with me meeting all of the team leaders and others, but started with the team leaders, met with each one of them because I needed to learn from them what their expectations were for learning and development. And then I wanted to know what their pain points were. And so that was a nice journey, fun journey along the way, where from there I was able to determine there's criteria that we're trying to achieve. And some of those things were just building a more standardized system here and process around learning and development for the whole team as one firm. The other thing I learned was they wanted to have a more positive onboarding experience for their teams, and they wanted to have a central hub for all learning. So there's many, many more things, but those were some of the main things I learned. So from that, I got with the team leaders, and the first thing that we did is we determined a mission statement for learning and development. So that was pretty cool. That was fun because I feel like we are using that very wisely in terms of as a recruiting tool. And then I use it as a tool to just go back to it, make sure that are we in line with what it is that we're trying to achieve with learning and development. So that's kind of how it started. And then from there I learned, okay, onboarding is the biggest thing we want to start with. And so I started with General Tax. It's been super fun working with them. They have a great team. I started with Trish and Kat from General Tax, Mike Kelly, Zach Burzak, and Ashley Vallone. And then at some point we added in Krista Rubin. And so with that team, we worked really hard at figuring out what would a positive experience look like for a new hire. And so we laid that all out. We figured out what could go in our manual. Where are all these training materials? Because they were lost. They knew we had them, but where were they? So trying to organize all of that. So we did that. And so that's kind of the first project was the onboarding manual. Then the next step that became very exciting was to create a level up guidebook. And so this was, I have to give all kudos to Krista Rubin. It was her idea. She reached out to me and we talked about this idea. So then we got with the team and we're like, let's build this level up guidebook on preparing a business tax return. So it was so exciting. It was a lot of work. We met every week for a very long time, but it is done. And so that is one of the biggest things, probably my biggest accomplishment, I would say this year, was working with that team and bringing that level up guidebook to fruition. It has created so much energy for the other teams, and they've morphed it into like their own idea of what level up is. So now I'm working with healthcare and getting started with them on doing some kind of onboarding, starting with that General Tax level up guidebook, working with international a little bit. They've already started to put together some training materials and quizzes that they want in the learning management system. So those are some of my three of my bigger ones. I think there are so many more.
Implementing the entire LMS from the ground up. That's a big one.
That's right. The learning that
No
was
small
huge.
feat.
No. Yes, that was huge. Thanks to Lori here. Yes, that was huge. That's our LMS. That was part of the criteria was let's have a central hub for all learning. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
I researched a little bit. I got with other industry. What do we call them?
Affiliate firms.
Affiliate firms. Yep. So I had met with several and networked when I went to the Rumor Summit, and then I met with several within LEA and learned about this learning management system, and that's why we went with that, knowing that it was tried and true for the accounting industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great.
It's been busy.
A lot of hard work behind the scenes
Yes.
and many hours and a lot of collaboration has gone into it, but now we're up and running and we've had great utilization of it so far,
Which
is really awesome to see.
We've had great utilization, like so much that we have used up lots of our learning hours.
That's good. 'Cause
Yeah.
every bit of learning that we can keep doing
Yeah.
gets us closer to helping our staff grow into in charge and keeping them growing forward. And I think that's kind of at the center of everything is how can we help the great people we have here get to that next level, progress in their career, become even more knowledgeable, and really whether they stay here or they leave, please stay, but that sets them up for a successful career.
Yep.
And I think that's our whole philosophy is be the best you can be for here and today, but also so you have a great future.
Yeah. You did perfectly, Lori. That's it. So that is what we tried to do. We implemented it, kicked off May 1. And so far, I do have a new hire learning path in there. So yay. So when Jared and Sarah are bringing in a new hire, that new hire has a list assigned to them and their trainings are in there.
So good.
I know. So that's awesome. And then from that, we're going to start building in audit. They've got some training videos that they're working on. And then, as I mentioned, International is beginning to create some things. So we're going to begin to build some learning paths in there. I still am learning as the admin. I'm getting so much better, y'all. Just don't worry. I am getting better. And it's going to be moving smoothly by next year. I'm quite sure of it. And then we're going to really work on the career development plans. And we'll utilize them.
And I know we have a lot going on in the background for that program, and I
Yeah.
think I'm really excited about everything that will continue to be. And you've only been here for, almost 2 years, but I feel like you've accomplished so much and like moved us forward so much that it's awesome to see.
Thank you.
And I think your role is kind of like a really great example of KB as a whole, because we're always trying to do what's best for the employees. And at the same time, someone with the drive can come into the firm, identify a need that the firm has, and figure out the best way to get us there, and figure out how to apply your skills, your knowledge, and what you're passionate about to help the firm. And I think you've done a really great job at that. And it's just so cool to be able to say we're this far into it, and there's so much more awesome things that can still come.
Yeah, thank you. It's been super fun. I love working with the teams. I think I've learned that is probably my favorite thing is when I can really just sit down with a group of 5 or 6 or whatever that is. I ultimately love doing things in person. Love that so much. I can do the other, but once you get in person with some, it really is it's fun. It makes it fun. So I found that's been one of my higher fulfillments since I've been here is to be able to work with those teams, take their subject matter expert, and then move that into a finished product. And so that's been super fun. I've loved it.
And you're lucky like we are where we get to work with all the different teams and get to meet so many different people and hear those collaborations. So it sounds like it's really working out for you.
Yeah, it is. It's been fun.
So we talked a lot about KB and work, but I also know that you have an entire life outside of KB, as we all do. And so tell us some of your hobbies, what you like to do when you're not here helping all of us be successful.
Well, I always hate this question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I only say that because I feel like I'm not very interesting when it comes to
I
hobbies.
think you're interesting. I know you're interesting because later we can get into this, but your spontaneity with going to Ireland. That is super interesting.
So, yeah, but my day-to-day, Probably, I don't really have a specific hobby, but I am very much fitness oriented, wellness oriented, and just physically busy. And so I would say in my spare time, I exercise every single day. So whether that's getting up and going to boot camp in the morning or a cycle class or doing yoga in the morning and taking really long walks. So that's kind of like my meat of my day that must get done each day. But the other thing, I do like cooking. So, and baking. Don't do it as much, but I will do that like on the weekends when I can. Get a couple of meals cooked during the week if I can. So that's that part. But probably for fun, we do boating. So we have a boat. We live, have like this road with 9 houses on it. And then we are on Palmasola Bay in Northwest Bradenton area, right by the causeway, Palmasola Causeway. And so we share this dock where we all have our own boat lifts. And so we have a boat that makes it very easy that we can just walk down, hop on our boat, and we can easily go somewhere.
Nice.
So yeah, so my husband and I will do that a lot. Like we'll just decide, you want to go to Tide Tables for dinner? So we'll hop in there and go up to Tide Tables. Yeah, and if it's a beautiful day and we're like, oh, it's not choppy out, let's go to St. Pete. So then we'll take it up to St. Pete and we'll have lunch there or something and stop along the way.
Sure.
We do a boating trip every year with a bunch of friends. We go down to Captiva and do a 4 or 5 boats follow and just stop along and the way and have fun. So probably boating is our biggest fun stuff that we do.
Sure.
Yeah. And I feel like every time I ask you about your weekend, you've gone to dinner with somebody or you get out and do things. So it feels like you're super social outside work too.
Yeah, we get it in. We get that in and chores.
There you
Lots
go.
of chores.
Balance.
Yes, there's a balance there. Yes, for sure.
Well, we touched on it, but do you want to give a highlight of your Ireland trip for
I
us?
would love to. It was like the best trip ever. My sister and I went. Never have done that as adults. Just me and my sister go on a trip together. My maiden name is Cusick. I'm going to say it's Cusack because no one knows what Cusick is. So it's Cusack like the actors Joan and John Cusack. That was my maiden name. You pronounce it Cusick in Ireland, and it's a pretty popular name in Ireland. So it was a big deal for she and I to go together. And we just wanted to experience it. We wanted to maybe find some roots or something around the Cusick name. We just had the best time. We went into Dublin. We started in Dublin. We stayed at a castle hotel that was like amazing.
So cool.
It was so fun. And they had the best restaurant, best food there. And then we did we went to the Guinness factory.
I was saying, you're like a certified Guinness
I am.
pourer.
Yes, I am. Yes. So that was super
So
fun.
cool.
Because I don't drink Guinness normally, but everyone said you must have Guinness when you're there. So my goal was to have a Guinness every single day, and I did. But at the Guinness factory, they had this really fun thing you could sign up for, and it was to learn how to properly pour the Guinness from the tap. And I have to tell you, I was the best pourer out of the 4 in the class. So I was super
Overachiever.
I am an overachiever when it comes to things like that. So that was super fun. And then we went onto the Ring of Kerry, which is where you drive. It's kind of like Dublin is over here on the east. You drive down and around to the west. So as we drove down, we went through that Ring of Kerry, and it's got a lot of beautiful coastal sites. We saw sheep where we had to stop for, lots of little cute little places. One place we just stopped, which I know...
My travel anxiety is showing through. So for those who don't know, Christine went on this trip without pre-booking hotels and was just planning to figure it out along the way.
You had done research.
Yes,
You had
sure.
done research.
Yeah,
You
we
knew
had an
town
idea.
names. You had talked to some locals who
Yeah.
now live here.
Correct.
So you did the research, but you did what we could not do, which was go without pre-booking
No
a hotel.
reservations.
And I have to tell you, that was my favorite town. My favorite town that I would have never found. It was called Sneem. But it was the cutest, like you pull in, it's just a couple of blocks. There was this little cute restaurant called Stone House and BB&B. And so my sister and I stopped and we went right up and we said, do you have a room? And she said, yes. And we were like, okay. So we stayed there and it was very basic, cute little basic room, $75 euro, which is just $83 or something like that. But it was awesome. Two rooms, little bathroom, but our window opened out and you could oversee the whole.
We'll have to insert a photo here.
Yes, because it was my favorite. You'll see flowers in there in the window box. So that was my favorite. We went to a pub there and had a Guinness, of course. So anyway, that was one of my favorites. My last highlight would be that we went glamping in Doolin County and did the Cliffs of Moher. So that's something, if you ever go and you're on that west side, that was up in the Lahinch area, that's where the Cliffs of Moher is very popular. And so we found a kind of more local entrance for it from our glamping person. And that was another one where we're like, where are we going to stay tonight?
So where my anxiety would be through the roof, you were like, this is amazing. And you found a cool glamping spot. So cool.
It was the coolest. It was a tent and just in luxury and it was
We'll
just
put a
beautiful.
photo here too so you can see it.
Beautiful. And the highlight there was that they had a very traditional pub with the folk music. So they were sitting in the back corner. I was sitting next to a guy and he was singing his whatever. He was like, ooh, like he knew all the words. So it was super fun. And I had a Guinness there as well.
As you should. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember you telling us about the lamb stew and how it's like the best lamb stew ever. That's what I always think about when you talk about this.
Okay, if you guys go, Brannigan's in Dublin. It was the absolute best. I have to tell you really quick. I found a Cusick's pub.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, and so we found that day one. We're like, Cusick's, like you never see that anywhere. And so we went the next day. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. No one else was there except for locals. It was just 10 locals sitting around the bar. Phil was our bartender. We made great friends with our. We had a few little older men over here, a younger one here, a female over here, and then a few middle. But they were all locals, so it was super fun. We just sat there and chatted with them. They played around with us. I got behind the bar with my sister.
Poured a Guinness.
I poured a Guinness.
You were certified.
Thankfully, we're certified, and Phil didn't get mad at you for this.
Yes, I had to assure him. I said, Phil, I am a certified Guinness pourer. I can do this.
You did it.
I did it. So that was super, super fun. That was probably the biggest highlight
that you got
of our trip.
Certified poured a Guinness in a Cusick bar. Like that's huge.
It checks
It was
all the
huge.
boxes.
It does.
On day 2, like you did all
Yes,
of these
it was
things.
day 2.
You could have come home, but instead you continued.
I continued
on this
on.
adventure with no plans.
It was so much fun.
We
I
also-
loved it.
Also need to touch on the fact that you drove all over
Oh my gosh,
on your own. you did the things. You drove on the other side of the road and the other side of the car and did not crash the car. So congratulations.
I know, it was a huge feat. Thankfully, I had my sister, and I just have to tell you what is so funny about that over there is no matter who you talk to, if you're talking to a local, and they'll say, oh, what are you doing? And we'll say, oh, well, we're getting a car. And they all say, oh, who's driving? They're kind of like, oh, right away.
Yeah.
And they all say, keep left. And so,
Good
that's
reminder.
I got really good advice from a taxi cab driver on a few things. The right in the windshield right here, when I'm driving on this side, not this side, has an arrow. Keep left in my visual eye at all
So
times.
helpful.
So helpful. And my sister was my navigator. So if I would have had to deal with like trying to figure out all that, I just would go to an intersection and say, stay left, stay left, stay left. And then stay left, stay left, stay left. Lots of roundabouts.
Yeah.
And that was what I had to do, but it was fun.
I can't even imagine a roundabout going like the opposite
I
direction
know.
because I'm like going this way mentally, but
it's-
no, it's definitely stay left. Stay left, yeah.
Yeah. And they're pretty good. They have big arrows, like when you get to those kind of
They
intersections.
understands the assignment.
Yes. A couple of times though, my sister and I were chatting, pulling out of the somewhere and where there are no other cars where you can't see where they're coming. So a couple of times we did turn out onto the lane and then they'd be coming at us and then we'd go over. That only happened like twice, I think.
I mean,
So-
Which is
that's
reasonable.
Yeah,
It's
for
reasonable.
sure.
Margin of error at that point.
Exactly.
So that's so much fun.
So we always give people the opportunity to ask us anything. And I know this might be a little bit harder since we work together all the time, but this is your chance.
Oh, man. Have you all ever had a Guinness before?
I have.
What did you think of it?
So, when I was in college, one of the RAs on my floor, she had gone to Ireland because she was Irish descent and was a huge Guinness person. And I had gone out drinking with her a couple times and had Guinness at that point, and I had never picked up another one in my life. Now they have the little cans, and my husband, for whatever reason, has gotten into it. And so they have these little like nitrous balls inside, and so you open it, and there's like very specific instructions, which I wonder if you're certified to pour from a can.
I think so. I think it works about the
carries
same.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, so you open it, and I've had it that way, but I don't know that it's my favorite. I do like beer, but I like IPAs. Yeah. So my favorite beer is High Life from Cigar City. So I love super bitter and like hoppy. I don't know that like heavier beer is for me. What about you?
No, I've never had a Guinness. Beer is not my deal.
I
avoid
like Moscato.
Yes, so very sweet drinker, but no, I've never had one. But if I was in Ireland, I would probably try it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
It really became acquired. I really got to the point where I enjoyed my Guinness.
Would you order one here?
I've tried a couple of times, but one time they gave it to me totally flat. They poured it totally wrong. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't drink that. Where is the foam on the top? This is not right.
Not acceptable.
So it's hard to find them doing it correctly.
Because they're clearly not certified.
Clearly not.
They should all have to go to Ireland to be certified.
They really should. Or not be allowed to pour it at all.
Fair. All right. Are you ready for rapid fire?
Oh my gosh, okay.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh, probably only 5.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How do you take your coffee?
I don't really drink coffee, but I drink cappuccinos.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Are you a local? Oh, sorry, I'm cutting.
That's fine.
Local coffee shop, or are you like Starbucks or Dunkin'?
Probably none of those at home because, like, again, I'm not a coffee drinker. But when we went traveling in Europe last year, I really got hooked on just having cappuccinos at the authentic Italian restaurants. So I make it at home, and there's not as much junk in it.
Fair.
So it's literally like I pick my 2% milk and my little bit of sugar, and I make it. So yeah, pretty much that. But I guess probably Starbucks would be next. Okay. Sorry, that wasn't very rapidly.
That's
all right. I like it.
Early morning or late night?
Or mid-afternoon pigeon.
Yeah, whatever gives you joy.
I can go either way. So early morning, because I'm used to in the morning trying to get up and go do my boot camp. But I often find that I don't make it to bed on time because I can also get my wind and my next set of energy in the evening, and I can be like working away and doing stuff. So so I can be both.
Okay. Yeah. Favorite Disney princess?
What's her name? It's the the Milan.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just watched that for the first time a couple weeks
did?
ago, and
The first one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mary's into it for sure.
As she should be.
As she should be.
So was my daughter. She was huge into it. Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
oh man. I will lean towards mountains because beach is always there, and I'm always around water. So I do love the idea of like hiking and doing something in nature and mountainous, and then just looking across and seeing that beauty. But honestly, they're probably pretty tight. Yeah.
Favorite Italian dish?
Oh, pasta usually. Pasta's my favorite. Which one?
All
of
them.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wrong
Fair.
choices.
Yeah.
Bucket list travel destination.
I want to go back to Italy, to some other parts of Italy, because we were only in the Florence section, so I would like to go there. I would like to go back to Ireland to see the top half. We only made it through the bottom half. And I think just the rest of Europe as well.
Bop all around.
I also want to see Utah
Oh,
and Montana.
mountains. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I want to go that way too.
I was just in Salt Lake City 2 years
You
ago, and it was very, very cool.
Okay,
Yes,
that's,
very fun.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I'll show you the view from the hotel because it was stunning.
Okay. Yes, I got to get that way.
Okay. Well,
All right.
I think that's all I have.
I think we've done rapid fire. Thank you for joining us today. We've learned
Yes.
so much about you, and we cannot wait to learn more about what learning and development holds. moving
Okay.
forward.
Thank you.
So,
I'm
thank you.
excited too. Thank you
All right.
both.